To be calm is the highest achievement of the self. Zen proverb. There will come a day, if it hasn't already, when the world will knock you to your knees. You will lose someone. You will be betrayed. The plan will fail. The silence will grow too loud. Your strength, your smile, your clarity, all will be tested. And on that day, you will learn something profound, that suffering is not a glitch in the system. It is the system. Pain is not an interruption of life. It is life. But so too is the response, the power of choice. In that space between stimulus and response, some collapse. Others rise. This is not about avoiding pain. It's about becoming something pain cannot destroy. The quiet fortress within. There is an ancient discipline practiced in silence, carried through centuries. It has no need for temples, robes, or rituals. It is forged in hardship and polished in reflection. It does not promise ease. It demands growth. That path is Stoicism, though we will not call it by name too often, because what matters is not the label, but the transformation it offers. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. We imagine catastrophe, we anticipate ruin, and we confuse these fears with facts. But the Stoic sees differently. The Stoic understands. It is not the world that makes us suffer, but our judgment of it. Rain is not suffering. Poverty is not suffering. Loneliness is not suffering. These are events. What you do with them, that is the battleground. The Stoic division of control. At the core of Stoic strength is this single, sharp division. There are things within our control, and things outside of it. Anything that belongs to others, to fate, to nature, we release. Anything that belongs to our choices, our actions, our values, we own completely. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals, not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Epictetus. This is not passivity, it is focus. The untrained mind spreads itself thin, arguing with the past, fearing the future, envying others. But the disciplined mind, it narrows in, it trains its will like a blade. Is this in my control? If the answer is no, we move on. If the answer is yes, we move forward. This is where unbreakability begins. Hardship is the training ground. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Seneca. We are told to avoid hardship, to design a life so padded, so frictionless that nothing can upset it. But then life does what life always does. It strikes. The Stoic does not wish for a life without struggle. They do not ask for the storm to pass. They ask only to become the kind of person who can stand in the rain, unmoved. When Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, he was not spared. He faced war, plague, betrayal, and the death of his children. And yet he wrote, night after night, not to complain, but to strengthen himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. His meditations were not public letters. They were reminders to himself, to stay rooted, to not be seduced by praise nor crushed by grief, to remember that everything outside of virtue is neither good nor bad, only indifferent. The practice of premeditatio malorum. The unbreakable person does not fear the worst. They rehearse it. This is the practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Not to become paranoid, but to prepare. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. Seneca. Each morning, the Stoic contemplates, what if I lose everything I own? What if I'm betrayed? What if today is my last day? Not to darken the mind, but to lighten the burden. When you face the worst in your imagination, it does not break you in reality. It sharpens you. That is not pessimism. That is training. Turning the obstacle into the path. Life doesn't happen to us. It happens for us, if we allow it. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoic sees obstacles not as blockages, but as blueprints. If we're delayed, we practice patience. If insulted, we practice calm. If injured, we practice resilience. There is no circumstance too cruel for the Stoic mindset, because every pain becomes raw material. Like the sculptor faced with a block of marble, we do not curse its weight. We carve. The hardship is not separate from the path. It is the path. The daily death. The unbreakable do not fear death. They meditate on it, not to be morbid, but to be awake. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Marcus Aurelius. Each moment we waste in anger, in vanity, in complaint, is a moment we will not get back. Memento mori, remember you must die. This is not a threat. It is a call to urgency, to let go of petty anxieties, to drop distractions, to speak truth now, to act with virtue now, to love fiercely not later but ours. Bravo now, this is how we become unbreakable. We stop pretending we have time, character over comfort. The world promises many things, pleasure, fame, security. The Stoic seeks only one thing, character. Character is what remains when reputation is stripped, when comfort is gone, when we are left in silence with ourselves. It is not given, it is chosen, moment by moment. When we speak the truth, even when it costs us. When we help others though they cannot repay us. When we stand firm though it would be easier to run. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. We do not need more. We need less. Less dependency, less distraction, less fear. And in that reduction we discover power. The fewer things we rely on to feel whole, the less that can be taken from us. Community of strength. Though this path is walked inwardly, it is not walked alone. We, all of us, are born for each other. What breaks one of us, breaks the whole. What injures the hive injures the bee. Marcus Aurelius. To live with virtue is not to live as a cold stone, but as a firm flame, giving warmth without being consumed. We must be gentle with others but hard on ourselves, forgiving toward the faults of our brothers and sisters, but ruthless toward the weakness within, not out of cruelty, but out of a sacred responsibility to become what we were born to be, to lift others by our example, to meet cruelty with dignity, to meet despair with presence. That is how strength spreads, not through violence, but through virtue. Silence before strength. In this world of endless noise, one must retreat into silence, not for escape, but for mastery. The Stoic begins each day in stillness, to examine the self, to prepare the mind, to remember that nothing is promised and nothing is owed, to ask, what kind of person will I be today? How will I respond when I am tested? Will I act from fear or from principle? The warrior does not wait until battle to sharpen the sword, and we do not wait for chaos to strengthen our soul. The end is the beginning. There will come a day when you are tested again, and the voice will rise. This isn't fair. I can't do this. Why me? But we will be ready. Not because we were spared pain, but because we were trained by it. We will not panic. We will not beg. We will not fold. We will remember that everything can be taken, except our integrity. That fate can be cruel, but our response can be noble. That death is certain, but how we live is up to us. We will not wish for a lighter burden. We will build a stronger back. We will become the kind of people this world cannot break. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Let that be the final word. Not a plea, but a command. Not a whisper, but a vow. The storms will come, the night will fall, but we will be ready. We are the architects of our minds. We are the guardians of our character. We are becoming unbreakable,